All right, so I know we've touched on the Ravens a little bit, but I want to just bring this up to you. So the Ravens fall to 7-4. They're 2-2 in their last 4 games, and they have some pretty terrible losses when you look at teams like the Raiders and the Browns. What's your opinion of the Ravens at this point in the season?
The Ravens aren't as good as the media has been trying to tell you all season. That's the bottom line of this. Are they still a really talented team?
It's a rat poison.
Yeah, but and I've felt like I was kind of taking crazy pills some of this season because I just keep hearing everybody tell me, they even did this like week 3 and 4. They're like, the Ravens, if the Ravens and the Chiefs played each other right now. I'm like, well, they played each other week 1 and the Chiefs won. Chiefs won that ball game. Like, we were literally in a scenario where the Chiefs were undefeated and the Ravens had 2 or 3 losses, and people were like, if they played today, I'm taking it's like, guys, we saw it 6 weeks ago. Okay. Like, I know it came down to the end. That's what happens in the NFL against close teams. I like the Ravens. The Ravens are, though, what I thought they would be. They lost a lot of crucial members to the defense last year, and guys that had career years aren't replicating that. Like, the defense has been horrible, let's just say. Absolutely horrible. Today, they were good. Okay, great. But Lamar was bad today. Adding Derrick Henry has been good. Could that be the difference in the playoffs? Yes. I, though, am worried about the defense because I just don't think you can win a bunch of playoff games or make a deep run with that bad of a defense. I really don't. And the thing hanging over everything, the one thing we're kind of just avoiding, everybody's tiptoeing scared to talk about, Lamar is kind of a choke artist in the playoffs. He just has been. One day, I do believe he will shake that. Peyton Manning couldn't win in the playoffs until he did. But we have to keep that in the back of our mind. If they didn't do it last year, this is a far inferior team to the Ravens of last year, even with Derrick Henry. I think the deficiencies at defense, the up and down play, it just seems like, I know the Ravens are one of the better teams in the AFC. It sounds like I'm clowning on them. I'm not. But they are not as good as the media and all these talking heads wanted to anoint them. They are very good. They have a lot of issues to work through, but I still don't trust them in a big playoff game at the end of the season. Do you? Because I don't.
No, I concluded after, when they lost to the Chiefs the first game out, 20-27, I was like, okay, whatever. But when you come and then you lose against the Raiders 28-23, that's
Right.
when I knew at that point that, okay, well, this is what we've done. We do this almost every year. We've overblown the Ravens, the Lamar Jackson saga and everything, but it's just all been inflated. And at this point, I am comfortable with saying that I think that they are definitely the second best team in the AFC North. We found that out today once they lost to the Steelers. But there's a chance that they could fall to number 3. And I know you may say, like, well, Ryan, how does that happen? Well, you look at the rest of their schedule, and they have teams like the Browns, a divisional matchup, the Steelers, the Texans, the Giants, the Eagles, the Chargers. Like, they have a tough schedule left. And if they lost to a team like the Steelers today, and by the way, the loss was 18-16, the game felt more lopsided than that. It just felt like Baltimore just played so sloppy.
You're 100% right. And Pittsburgh did too. There was a point where Pittsburgh's literally about to score to go up 2 scores late in the game, and Russell Wilson throws the most incomprehensible interception you can imagine. Like, just has a Will Levis moment. Otherwise, the game's not as close. I know that happened. And then Ravens throw a pick. That stuff like that happens. But my point is, I agree with everything you said. The Ravens, they've lost 4 games. You assume like you need 10 wins minimum to get into the playoffs in the AFC. I'm not saying the Ravens aren't going to make the playoffs. If they lose 3 more games, they're at 10-7. I don't think they'll lose 3 more games, but I think 2 more losses is on the table, right? They can't seem to get a good winning streak together. It seems like they win 1 or 2 and then they'll drop 1. And maybe that's a little bit more normal, but to me, it just feels like they're struggling to find their identity.
Yeah, and I think going into next week playing the Chargers, like you said it earlier, that you think the Chargers may be the best defense in the entire football league, and there's a chance that they are. So you mean to tell me that a team that has a better defense than the Steelers that you played, and then also they're better offensively than the Steelers, do you think that there's a chance they lose against the Chargers next week? Because if they do, then they still have another game before their bye week. So that's one saving grace is they do have the bye week 14. but you still got the Chargers and the Eagles to go through before you can take a rest.
There's a chance they lose to the Chargers, but just to play devil's advocate, they also went and hung 160 on Denver, who also has one of the best defenses. That's what I'm saying. It's like you try to make sense of the team. It is inconsistent. It's like what you used to say about the Jaguars, but with more high variance. Their lows are never as low as the Jaguars, and their highs are, oh my God, they will beat any team. Like the way they played against Denver, they would beat any team in the league. Like they would have just stomped anybody. They stomped Buffalo. Like it wasn't even close. So, and then they go and lose to the Raiders and stomp Denver and lose to the Steelers. It's just, they're inconsistent. That's okay right now, but I hope they're trying to work and find out who they are, because that's the big thing for me, just to bring it home. I don't know what their identity is. Lamar and Derrick Henry.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to just carry you enough to get a Super Bowl. And if you're the Ravens at this point, you've got the MVPs, you've got the play. It's Super Bowl or bust. That's what you're going for.